and more metaphysical, and more in the realm of demonology, I would say.
In the late 90s, I met Whitley Strieber. He co-wrote a book with Art Bell, and I was very intimately close with Art Bell at the time. That whole summer, we were on the phone every day, constantly. And so I went to a book signing in New York, and I met Art, and I ran into Whitley Strieber, and he had very black, glassy eyes. Remarkable, okay? And did you know that he wrote in his book that he attended that school for gifted children in Mexico that was associated with the Finders cult?
I know, yeah. I mean, I think he's as with many things he says, he hedges. He's not sure, blah blah blah. But okay. Yeah, I knew he had connected those two.
Yeah, fascinating. Yeah, fascinating experience.
Did you have a conversation with him or nothing?
No, because at the time Art Bell was in the middle of litigation, and I was helping him with that, so we were focused on that discussion. So we didn't get a chance to discuss, things like you and I are discussing today. Not even close.
So if you had him on your show, would you ask him difficult questions, do you think?
I think I ask everybody difficult questions. What do you think?
Well, you haven't with me so far, but I don't want you to. By difficult questions, I mean like...
Oh, I would ask him about the Finders.
Are you lying here, Whitley, or are you just fucking crazy when you say ... right? Because, I mean, that was what Prisoner Infinity, a large part of it is, although I try to transcend this area, but it's just showing how many glaring contradictions there are in this guy's output. And if he's not a liar, and I don't think he is, then there's something deeper and darker going on. Like it's a whole body of disinformation around UFOs in general, but around Whitley Strieber's opus, and it pertains to what you just informed me that Freud was aware of, which is what I call traumagenesis, the use of trauma, sexual trauma, to reconfigure society.
Absolutely. And to answer your question, I would never tell a guest I think you're lying unless it was something I was absolutely personally directly involved with, that I could testify in court that I know they're lying. Otherwise, that's just going too far. But I'll ask questions and let the audience decide. Hey, listen, guy's full of shit. Okay, you know what I mean? Let the audience figure that as we go along. Now, Mr. Jason Horsley, the way I found you is because you got a new book coming out called The Kubrickon. Now, believe it or not, as synchronicity as you and me have going on here is fascinating. I just happened to do a binge watch of all of these Stanley Kubrick's movies from Eyes Wide Shut back to Lolita. I didn't go back to Spartacus. I never watched that movie. I didn't want to watch it again. What's going to be in this book, The Kubrickon?
Well, I saw that the publishers have put a line from the intro in the copy at one website, which is the first book about Stanley Kubrick by someone who doesn't like his movies. So I don't know if that's a good idea that it gets promoted that way, because it might just stop people reading it who should read it. But that is an element to it. I don't know if it's like, are we still on?
Yeah, we're on, yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, I heard another Skype call. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
That is an element in how I approach Kubrick, or why I approach Kubrick, which is that I never could get his movies. I could never get why everybody was raving about them, and that reached a point of serious cognitive dissonance with Eyes Wide Shut, because, well, I mean, the time that came out, everybody recognized it was a really bad movie, and I was fine. But then over the years, it got reevaluated. But I still see the same movie, and I find it horrifically bad. And so this cognitive dissonance in my psyche, particularly as I was trying to become a filmmaker, and also my first book was as a film critic, has fascinated me. Like, any big anomaly does tend to obsess us. So in a way, that was the genesis of it, because it sowed the seed that, well, okay, Kubrick is doing something other than simply making movies here. So even a Kubrick movie that's obviously, like, empirically bad in many ways, like Eyes Wide Shut, like the acting and the dialogue and things, there's something there. He's doing something that then people respond to. Well, that's what the thesis of the book. Why do they respond to it? And it's not about the movies. It's not about Kubrick. The Kubrickon is more about the audience and the critics and the receptacle, the receiving base for the Kubrick mythos, the Kubrick opus. That he created movies as moving parts in a larger edifice, like a hyper object that was designed to hack into the human psyche and harvest the energy off it, and then rechannel that energy into the computer superstructure in order to create artificial intelligence. That's my thesis, and it's based on a number of things, including that when he made 2001, he became obsessed, let's say, with the idea of artificial intelligence, because it's about that with Hal. And Kubrick, whatever else he was a hubristic kind of guy who wanted to be a genius. He got people to think he was a genius, and he had really overarching ambitions. He was trying to do something great. So it's my belief, or at least I take this position in the book, that he wasn't really interested in making movies. He had a much higher bigger fish to fry. And that was the task he set himself. How can I create artificial intelligence? And so all of his movies from 2001 on became means to that end. That's my thesis. I mean, it's a crazy thesis. I almost swore then, and I'm thinking, did I manage not to swear today? I think I did.
You didn't. 27:25 and 51:18.
Oh, I did. Okay.
Don't worry about it, though. Listen, but we are out of time. Jason Horsley, man, thank you so much. I can't wait to have you come back to talk about the Kubrick, your next book. People can find you at landmademan.com and on Twitter at Jake, PHAS, JAKEPHAS. And Mr. Horsley, your email?
Yeah, my email, just in case anyone feels like a connection listening to this and would like to just approach me personally, that's always preferable to social media for me. My email is jason@protonmail.com.
Jason Horsley, thank you so much. I look forward to when the book comes out, The Kubrick Con. We'll have you right back.
Great, Ed. Thanks for having me on.
Good night, sir.